Hello everyone, this is Puru, your Linux troubleshooting buddy. In this video, we are going to see how to extend the root file system without having them in Linux Logical Volume Manager. First, I'm going to execute the fdisk command to check the number of drives available in the VM and to see the number of partitions of each disks. If you notice, we have a single drive that is /dev/sda which is having three partitions /sda1 for boot, sda2 for swap and sda3 for root. I'm going to further check using disk-free command to see if any of the partitions are configured with Logical Volume Manager. If you see none of the partitions are enabled with LVM, let's see how to extend our root file system. So basically it has three steps involved. First, at the VMware level, we have to expand the /dev/sda drive, and the second step is to extend the cylinders, that is the sectors, at the OS level, and the third step is to extend the file system. So we have to be clear that we are not going to add an additional disk to the VM. Instead, we are going to expand the existing /dev/sda drive. Okay, so I'm going to add an additional 5 GB disk to the VM to the same /dev/sda drive, and let's see how to expand our file system. So before which, let's see the total number of sectors we have for this drive and the total number of sectors that are being used. If you see, the total number of sectors are 1048576000, and the total number of sectors being used is 10485624. So we hardly have no space available in the drive. So once we added an additional 5 GB to the drive, and let's see the sector count. Hello everyone. Now that I have added an additional 5 gigs to the /dev/sda drive, we are going to see whether it has been extended at the OS level, for which I'm executing fdisk command. So if you would have noticed, previously the total number of sector count was 1048576000. Now the count has been increased to some values. Now let's see how much space we have extended for this drive. To know it, I'm going to use the calculator. I'm going to subtract the total number of sectors for this drive with the total number of sectors being used. So this is the remaining sector we have for this drive. I'm going to multiply it with 512. The reason being is, if you see, units is equal to sectors of 1 multiply of 512. So this is the total number of bytes added into the drive /dev/sda. I'm going to check the total size in gigs, for which, so this is the kilobytes, this is the megabytes, and this is the 5 gigs which we have expanded in /dev/sda. Okay, now that we have the disk expanded at the OS level, in order to extend the file system, there are a couple of more steps that we need to execute. First, I'm going to extend the partition table. Okay, so now that we are going to convert into units, I'm sorry, we have converted into cylinders. I'm going to delete the partition table. So keep in mind that we are not going to touch any data inside the partition. Instead, we are just going to remove the partition table. To perform it, I'm going to accept the default value as disk 3 is the root file system that we are going to extend now. Okay, now that we need to create the partition, for which I'm using an option. It is going to be the primary partition. I'm accepting the default value. So it's going to be the partition number 3. So I'm accepting the default value. So accepting default and accepting default. And I'm writing OK. Now that once again I'm going to execute the fdisk command to see the difference. If you see here, the total number of sectors for this drive is 11534360, and the total number of sectors being allocated to partitions is 115330,634. Okay, so the next step pending is to extend the file system. Now that we have extended the raw disk, if we execute the command df-h, we would still see 48 gigs. And previously also it was 48 gigs. Now that we have to reboot the VM again in order to kernel to recognize this extension. Hello everyone. Now the VM is rebooted. I'm going to execute the uptime command. If you see, the VM is up for 2 minutes. So now the very last step is to extend the file system. It's an online activity. A reboot is not required. First, we need to check the file system type, for which I'm going to execute df-ht, and the file system type is xfs. So we all know that the command to extend the xfs file system is xfs underscore growfs slash dev slash sda3. Okay, now the file system has been extended. We are going to see the difference now. Wow. Previously it was 48 gigs and now it has been extended to 53 gigs. How simple it is. Things to be considered. Though it's an easy job, we have to be very careful when executing this in our production environment. Make sure that you take a full data backup and a snapshot of a VM before you execute any steps on the production server. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to this channel to watch more videos and click on the bell symbol to get notification on the new videos. Thank you once again.